All right, man, peace. First off, brothers, I want to thank all of you who have contributed and donated to the channel. It's much appreciated. Let's get to this Kawhi Leonard situation with Nike for a moment. It's just very interesting to me. For those of you cats who've been on my channel for anywhere from a year and a half to 2 years now know, I always tell you cats that the quote-unquote woke dynamic is a mechanism that is utilized by these major corporations right now, especially if they're marketing black athletes, in order to amplify that athlete's portfolio. And it's done the most by Nike, or Nike, which most of us know by now is meant to be an allusion to the mother goddess, the quote-unquote goddess of war and of victory. But just to get back to the point, the reason why I bring that up is because that is not happenstance. They want to push the worship of the quote-unquote mother goddess or the divine feminine on the masses in an overt way. Behind the scenes, they bow down to the horned god. But for the people, it's the mother goddess, because they want the masses at large to be emotional. The more emotional they are, the easier they are to manipulate. When people are easy to manipulate, you have a more willing consumer. That means that your sales go up. That is why Serena Williams, LeBron James, Odell Beckham Jr. now are trying to propagate this woke energy, or this quote-unquote social justice warrior energy. And we all know that the patron saint and the alleged martyr of the Nike witch coven of wokeness is Colin Kaepernick. And that brings me to this point here involving Mr. Kawhi Leonard, who I've covered in a series of videos dating back to the NBA playoffs, and the concept pertaining to him not being quote-unquote woke enough or extroverted enough for the media to utilize him as a pawn. If the media cannot utilize him as a pawn, that means that corporate America, i.e. many of these sports apparel companies, are going to have a hard time marketing him unless he subscribes to the paradigm that they want to establish for him. That's someone who's going to put on an act and conduct himself as if he's concerned about every agenda that is allegedly being pushed on the masses, when in all reality, it's the corporatocracy that's dominating the minds of the people and basically is pitting two forces against one another, and they're going to reap the benefits either way. To make a long story short, there's nothing woke about Nike. They're just putting forth cardboard cutouts that you call top-level athletes like LeBron James to be puppeted, for you to believe that they're sacrificing things, when in all reality, they're using that social justice energy to make millions and millions, if not billions of dollars for themselves. So I have to ask this question. If Nike's making so much money, and they're supposed to be so liberal and so understanding of the black plight, why are they trying to hold on to Kawhi Leonard's logo that he created while a member of Jordan Brand? From a business perspective, I understand it fine. He created the logo while he was quote-unquote property of Nike, so they reserve the right to retain that logo. But seeing as they're so magnanimous and they have such a great deal of benevolence toward the plight of the so-called black man, why would they not just divest any authority over that image and give it back to him? And where is Colin Kaepernick? Remember, Colin Kaepernick supposedly stopped the Betty Ross sneakers from getting released. How come Kawhi can't call Colin Kaepernick and Colin Kaepernick tell Nike, give that man back his logo? Maybe they can't do that because Nike is phony, Colin Kaepernick is phony, and the whole Betsy Ross storyline was phony. So anyway, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
Big news from Nike regarding Kawhi Leonard. They're firing back at the NBA superstar over allegations that they stole a design he created. Remember this? He filed a lawsuit last month saying that he sketched the original design for the Kawhi claw logo that Nike was used for since 2014. This is the logo that Nike has been using. This is the official logo that Nike used on all of their Kawhi Leonard merchandise from 2014 to 2018 when Kawhi was a Nike spokesperson.
And we know that Nike tells all of their assets exactly how things are going to go down, because once again, supposedly they gave LeBron James a $1 billion lifetime contract, whatever the hell that means. LeBron is someone who has all this clout allegedly, but he can't even change his number if he wants to. Nike shut that down so damn quick. All these athletes are nothing but slaves, man. I try to tell you cats that you fall for this woke shit. Oh, LeBron give it back to his community. LeBron cares so much about black people. LeBron cares about the dollar. And he's going to hustle that woke shit to a lot of simple ass Negroes out there however long he needs to. And whatever he needs to do to create and increase his cult of personality, that's what he's going to do at the behest of Nike. Nike, in my view, was the brain trust behind the concept of creating the I Promise school in Akron, Ohio. Because LeBron didn't do that on his own. And once again, that's a public school. So LeBron did not put one penny into that school. It was $2 million from his foundation. Where'd they get the rest of the money from? It's very obvious that Nike pitched in a good amount of money, because when you look inside the school, it's basically just a shrine to Nike and LeBron James. Just getting back to Kawhi Leonard, he should be able to retain his logo if Nike is as benevolent as they try to act as if they are.
He had a contract with them that expired in October of 2018. After it expired, Kawhi tried to use the logo in other capacities for, other business endeavors, and Nike sent him a cease and desist saying, we own that. And Kawhi said, no, you don't. I created the logo in college. Yeah. In 2011, here's the original sketch now that Kawhi created back in his college days when he was, before he was an NBA star. And so he submitted this to Nike and said, hey, what do you think about something like this? You can see his hand, you can see the KL, his initials are in his original sketch along with his jersey number 2, and then in the Nike logo, it's very similar.
It's the same thing. It's a more stylized version of what he drew.
Yes. So Kawhi basically sued Nike saying, you don't own the rights. I created this. I own the rights. And now Nike is firing back saying, no way. There's a distinct difference between the sketch that you drew in college and the polished logo that we're using now. And we trademarked this and we own the rights to it. And you just can't go around and take it to wherever you want.
Now, of course, Nike has a leg to stand up from a business perspective, but I'm trying to figure out where's Colin Kaepernick to jump in here, because he jumped in with the Betty Ross sneakers allegedly. Should it not be up to him to speak to one of the head honchos at Nike and say, Kawhi Leonard is one of our black brothers. He has fled this plantation. Allow him to at least take his property with him. If you're Kawhi Leonard or Uncle Dennis, you should contact Colin Kaepernick, because remember, Colin Kaepernick has the ability to pull sneakers off the shelves, supposedly. So he should also have the power to get you back your logo, especially for a company that's not going to make any more money off of you. I mean, hypothetically speaking, right? They're not selling any more of Kawhi Leonard's products because he left and went to New Balance, at least as far as I understand. Now, Kawhi was a member of Jordan Brand. We know that Jordan Brand was a subsidiary of Nike, so I'm not quite sure where that fits in. But at the end of the day, Colin Kaepernick has enough clout to tell Nike, which really should not have to be told because they love black people, that Kawhi should get his logo back.
Yes, Kawhi did offer up the sketch when they were collaborating in
Or hell, maybe Kawhi should call up LeBron James, because LeBron James, he's fighting for black people's rights, right? Doesn't Kawhi have the right to have his own logo? Call up LeBron.
When they were trying to come up with a logo, but it was the base. It was just an inspiration. It was just a part of the collaborative process, and now Nike owns the rights. So they're saying, this is ours now. You can't take this and go somewhere else. But then when you're looking at the two images side by side right here, and you look at Kawhi's drawing and Nike's drawing, do you see a distinct difference between the two?
No. I mean,
well, there's a difference, of course, because what Nike did was they took the K and applied it to the last 2 fingers on Kawhi's hand, as opposed to what Kawhi was doing. But if you look at the Nike logo, not only did they turn the middle finger and the thumb into an L, and the ring finger and the pinky into a K, but they took the index finger and made it a phallic symbol. You see that? That's an erect phallus there.
I see Kawhi having, I see the idea. They basically just had an artist. Obviously, on the left, that my little brother could have done that.
Yeah, sure.
But they had an artist render what he wanted to do.
Right.
That's all they did.
Yeah, but
that's it.
Nike's saying, because we took your rough draft and turned it into something professional that we actually use, like, we get it. It's tough luck. It's ours now. And Kawhi's saying, no way.
Listen, I don't know what the ins and outs are of that, but I know that they stole his design.
Right, but there's not supposed to be any ins and outs, because Nike wants what's best for so-called black people. So hypothetically speaking, Kawhi Leonard should be able to contact Odell Beckham Jr. or Serena Williams or LeBron James or especially Colin Kaepernick and have them speak to Nike so that he can retain the rights to his logo. Because supposedly Nike is for the people and they want what's best for those who are being oppressed, and yet they're oppressing Kawhi Leonard. Where is Colin Kaepernick to assist Kawhi Leonard in this venture? Because we were told that Colin Kaepernick pulled those Betsy Ross sneakers off the shelf because he's so super duper woke.
Allegedly, yeah, but like, I guess, you know, shout out to the people at Nike in this particular case. It seems to be pretty clear that Kawhi Leonard has, like, he's got the upper hand here. I don't know.
No pun intended.
It's in the courts right now, and it's war. Like, both sides are going to war here. Kawhi Leonard versus Nike. This is going to be one that is not slowing down anytime soon. These guys are both foot on the gas with no plans on hitting the brakes.
Kawhi, Uncle Dennis, contact Colin Kaepernick and Ness Nitty, because they have the ability to approve or disapprove of all creative endeavors at Nike. That's what we were told. So get in contact with them. That would be interesting if over the course of the court proceedings they called witness Colin Kaepernick to the stand. He walks in dressed in all black with his billowing afro and says, "I told Nike to stand down. So Kawhi, you have nothing to worry about. I promise you that you're going to retain full rights to your creation." That's going to happen never in life, because all of this is a facade, brothers. I don't know how many times I have to tell you this. Wokeness amongst these major sports athletes is just about generating revenue and playing on the angst of regular so-called black people. That's all it's about. All these top shelf black athletes, they get told how they're going to market themselves, and these corporations are willing to work with them if they come, to one of their creative directors and say, "I want to appeal more to so-called black people. I want to have this fundraiser," or what have you. They'll say, "Yeah, okay," because they want to have a good working relationship. But at the end of the day, Nike is shrewd enough and smart enough to say, you know what, let's use this woke shit to our advantage. And then, of course, from a larger perspective, Nike and most of the top apparel companies are just acting as proxies for some of the cultural Marxist billionaire interests overseas. That's why they're so intent on trying to contort the NFL or use the NFL as a 0 point to change overall society in America. That's why they planted Jay-Z there as the point man with Roger Goodell. But that's a whole other video. So anyway, good luck to Kawhi Leonard. Peace.